dear friends, I want to say thank you so much for joining me today. I've been in the mood for doing some relaxing watercolor and doodling, and I wanted to use this Academy watercolor pad, which is actually by Bao Hong. I don't think I'm pronouncing the name correctly. It's part of the latest Temu haul. That's how it looks. It's pure cotton watercolor paper, 300 GSM, and Bao Hong makes a professional pad as well as this Academy watercolor pad, which is for a student grade watercolor, but I've seen it highly recommended on Skillshare classes that I've done, and I wanted to try this. This is 8 by 3 by 5.9 inches. And I wanted to show you that when you see the open like this, it's actually not a watercolor pad as stated. I tried to open it with my craft knife and sliced that page. So then I went to fetch a palette knife, and these watercolor blocks are glued on all the sides, and they just have that small little section in the middle that is not glued. You can see it over here. And then I'm going to put a palette knife into that. You could use a dull butter knife or anything of that sort. This is just a palette knife I happen to have. And as my husband will say, I've got every art supply in creation. But I'm just putting it into the hole. And then you just move it along and it releases the glue. So I'm not going to do more than that because I wanted to stay in this block form while I paint, because the reason it is glued all around is that it stops the paper from buckling as watercolor paper often does. And so I now do not have to use masking tape or painter's tape or anything around the sides. I can just paint on this whole piece of paper. And what I'm planning on today is actually not going to use that much water, but if I was doing a landscape or something with a lot of wet on wet, then it would also be great. I have this watercolor dot card. It's Daniel Smith Watercolors, and this is the Pablo Rubin palette, or palette. I never quite know how to pronounce it. And it's a great collection of colors, and I'm just going to use some of them on this little bit of watercolor that I'm doing. I have this tin that I'm using, and it's already got some colors in, so it might end up mixing with some of the colors, but I'm not going to be worried about anything. I want to simply relax and add watercolor paint to paper. I'm going to be using my 3 Craftimo bamboo brushes and 1 Utrecht brush. So I have a whole lot available. I don't know which I'm going to use. My plan is to simply relax, put color to paper, and have fun and enjoy myself, and then I'm wanting to doodle on top of it. So I hope that you enjoy this. It's going to be a longish video where I'm going to add music as well as popping in. So if you've never used a dot card before, it's a nice inexpensive way of trying out great watercolors, and I got sent some with a previous order I had, and I wanted to just try them. So without any particular plan in mind, I'm just adding water to paint and adding it onto the page. So I'll speed this up a little bit and then share the process with you, and I hope that you enjoy the music that I play. Have fun and relax. Well, as you saw, I didn't actually speed that up because I decided it's quite nice to watch the painting process. This is turning into a kind of a fluffy round ball cloud that I'm thinking of doodling over and turning into a tree or something. I've been watching a lot of, not watching, looking at a lot of Pinterest doodle pictures, watercolor and doodles, and we'll just see what I come up with. But I'm having so much fun just putting water onto this paper with paint included and letting the paint do its thing. I am loving the paper. It's really, really nice. I'm really pleased I got it. I mean, to me, it feels like Arches paper or something. It's just really nice. I'm very happy with it. I think I need to try some loose florals or a landscape on it next and see how it takes lots and lots and lots of water. Okay, so our watercolor blob is finished, and I'm using this black gel pen, which is, it's not waterproof. My watercolor is now dry, and it's called something hybrid. I don't know. I will write the name of all the tools in the information beneath the video. But I'm just going to be doing a mixture of circles and lines, freehand and doodling, and I'm having a lot of fun while I'm doing this. And it's been inspired by some things I've seen on Pinterest. I don't have one open in front of me, so I'm not actually copying anything. I'm just going where the mood takes me, and I really hope you enjoy doing this. I will speed it up just a little bit and cut here and there so that the video isn't longer than 30 minutes. But I really hope you like this, and I hope that you'll let me know whether you enjoy this type of video or not. I absolutely love making it. It's just my happy place. Well, I thought I would pop in and say hello again after all of that music. As you can see, I have actually sped this up. It's 1.5 times faster than I work, so it even in the sped up version looks a bit slow. So you can see that I don't really work very quickly, but I didn't want it to be too fast because I personally find when I watch things very fast that they make me feel a bit seasick. So I wanted this to be a relaxing, enjoyable video to watch that you could paint along or doodle along with me while you're watching and listening to the music. I'm really going with circles and lines and just seeing where the mood takes me, and I want to try and get the whole blob sort of outlined, and I think I'm going to cut quite a bit of this out and then come towards the end because I don't want the video to be too long, but these big circles that I've put in the middle, I decided on leaving that as 3. This is something I've learned in my trying to learn how to do some more arting and things like that over the years in my self-taught journey, and that is that it's always better to have not an even number, to have an uneven number of something so that the eye is not being stressed. If you've got 3, the eye is sort of relaxed and can choose where to look, whereas if there were 2 or 4, there's something within us that tries to pair the things up. So I always found that quite interesting, and in case this is something you didn't know, I thought I'd share that. I also wanted to share that when you're trying to draw spokes, it's easier to do opposite ends like this and then fill in the gaps rather than trying to go around and around and around, because then somehow or other the straight lines end up becoming curved and it lands up being quite difficult knowing how to fill the whole wheel up with lines, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm making sense. So it's not an even number of lines because every here and there I see a gap that I want to fill and I fill that in. So I'm going to skip to where I've done most of the middle of all of these circles and lines now. Et voila, with a little bit of YouTube magic, we've nearly finished all of them. And I think it's looking quite pretty, and I've had lots and lots of fun doing this. So now, shall we call it a dream tree or a cloud tree, or what shall we call it? I'd love to know what name to give this, but it definitely has the feeling of a sort of a tree to me. In a way, it almost looks like a steampunk tree. These circles look a little bit like gears, but I'm not a great steampunk fan, so I'll rather call it a dream tree. The middle things to me look a little bit like pom-poms as well. I had thought at some stage of using some white and some gold with it, but I actually have decided to maybe just leave it with the black and the paint. And I need to give this a tree bark, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to add some more music for you again. I really hope you enjoy this, and please do let me know in the comments. Well, we've nearly finished all of our doodles, and I filled in certain places with some extra black. I am actually quite happy with this. I think it's turned out quite nicely, and I hope that you've enjoyed watching the video, and I hope that you will give something like this a try as well, because it's really an absolutely super way to spend some time to unwind and to work with your art supplies and to just have fun with no requirement. It sort of keeps you in the moment. It helps you to be aware of what you're doing and to stop your mind racing away with all the worries and concerns that we all have to deal with so many times. So I want to thank you all very much for spending time with me, and I hope that you've liked the video, and I hope that you'll consider giving it a like and maybe sharing it, because that helps this channel so much, and it helps me make more videos like this for you if you have enjoyed it. Thank you so much, and I wish you a really great week and a lovely creative time. Bye-bye now.